Hi, everyone. Welcome. I'm Pick. Today, we're going to talk about something many of us feel but don't always name burnout. I want this to be a safe, slow conversation where you can listen, learn new words, and, if you need to, say, "That is me." So, let's start.
And I'm Pick as well, Dr. Pick Miller. It's lovely to be here with you, Pick. Hi, everyone. We'll walk through feelings, vocabulary, and small practical steps to recover. This is for intermediate and advanced English learners who want to grow their language and their well-being.
By the way, before we begin, you might hear us repeat and explain idioms and phrasal verbs. That's on purpose. Listen for natural expressions, running on empty, hitting a wall, and we'll pause to define them later. Okay, shall we set the scene?
Yes. Imagine waking up on Monday and already dreading the week. Not just a bad day, but a slow, heavy feeling that builds over weeks or months. You drag yourself through tasks, you can't focus, and you feel flat. That's often the start of burnout.
When I teach, students sometimes say, "I'm tired." But, tired can mean many things. So let's try to describe that feeling clearly. There is physical tiredness, and then there is mental exhaustion. They sound similar, but they're different. And the English we use can change depending on which one you mean.
Right. Physical tiredness is the kind you get after a long hike, after exercise, after a day of moving boxes. Your muscles ache, you want to sleep. Mental tiredness, burnout, is deeper. It's like your motivation is gone, your thoughts are foggy, your emotions feel muted or brittle. You might feel guilty for feeling exhausted, which makes it worse.
Exactly. I often tell students, physical tiredness says, "I need rest." Burnout says, "I need change." Little pause there. So, a quick example. You might say, "I'm exhausted after a long commute." But if you say, "I'm burned out," it implies a longer-term pattern of overwhelm.
And the language matters because it invites different solutions. If you say, I need sleep, friends might offer a nap. If you say, I'm burned out at work, people might ask about workload, boundaries, or support. The words open different doors, you know?
I love that. Okay, let's talk about the modern routine that creates this overload. Work, errands, social expectations, family responsibilities, they pile up. And then there's the pressure to be on, available by phone, responsive by email, active on social media. That constant connectivity makes it hard to switch off.
Mm-hmm. You see this a lot in cities. People juggling jobs, long commutes, caregiving. The brain gets taxed by constant decision-making. Decision fatigue, right? When your brain has made too many small choices, it drains your willpower, and suddenly even simple tasks feel impossible.
Yeah, a student told me last week, "I feel like I'm living in a loop. Work, eat, check my phone, sleep, repeat." She said, "I can't enjoy my free time because I'm always planning the next thing." That phrase, "living in a loop," is such a useful expression. Listeners, you can use it too.
She also used another phrase, running on empty. That's a powerful image. Your gas tank is at zero, but you're still driving. In English, that idiom communicates continuing despite having no reserves left, physically and emotionally.
Let's pause right there for segment 4, Vocabulary Spotlight. We'll name and explain several expressions we've used: running on empty, hitting a wall, drained, zapped, and worn out. I'll give an example sentence for each, and then Dr. Pick will add a clinical or recovery-oriented note.
Great. Running on empty. Example, I've been working 60 hours a week, and I'm running on empty. Clinically, that's a sign you need to reduce demands or increase supports. Even small buffers can help, short breaks, buffers between meetings, or protected time to breathe.
Hitting a wall? Example, I was writing for 2 hours and suddenly I hit a wall. I couldn't finish the paragraph. This signal is often abrupt. You feel stuck, unable to continue, and frustrated. It's a cue to step away, get some distance.
Drained. After the meeting, I felt completely drained. That's a softer, ongoing fatigue. Zapped is informal. Worn out is broad. You can use these in casual conversation to sound natural. Use them with the right tone. Drained sounds quieter, zapped more energetic and immediate.
I notice how English uses food and machines for feelings. Tank, wall, battery. That metaphor-rich language helps listeners picture the experience. Try repeating these phrases quietly to yourself. I'm running on empty. I've hit a wall. I'm drained. It helps you name what you're feeling.
Now, let's move to recovery. Small wins. People often expect big solutions, a long vacation, quitting a job, but small, consistent changes are usually more sustainable. We'll go through concrete steps, setting boundaries, digital detoxing, micro rests, and reconnecting with values.
First, boundaries. It sounds simple, but it's hard. Setting a boundary might be saying, I won't reply to work messages after 8 p.m., or I need one quiet hour after I get home. When practicing English, you can role-play these boundaries. I'm sorry, I can't take that call right now. I'll reply tomorrow morning. These are useful phrases.
Yes, boundaries protect your energy. You don't need to be rude. You can be clear and kind. For example, thanks for the invite, but I need time to rest tonight. That sentence is respectful and firm. Over time, boundaries help rebuild your reserves.
Second, digital detox. One student said, I scroll and then I feel worse. Sounds familiar? Digital clutter keeps the brain in alert mode. Try screen snooze practices. Put your phone in another room for an hour, turn off notifications, or have a morning ritual without checking messages for the first 30 minutes.
And third, micro rests. These are short 3 to 10-minute breaks with real intention. Close your eyes, breathe slowly, step outside for air, stretch. They reset attention. The research shows attention improves with short breaks. It's not laziness, it's efficient brain care.
Small wins also include saying no more often. You can practice this in English with soft refusals. I wish I could, but I have too much on my plate right now. Or, I can't commit to that at the moment. Sorry. These sentences preserve relationships without sacrificing rest.
Let's talk about vulnerability now. Many cultures encourage keeping stress private, but there's power in sharing. Saying, I'm struggling, opens doors for help. It's okay to say, I don't have the energy to meet this week, and then explain briefly if you feel comfortable. Support systems, friends, colleagues, supervisors, often want to help, but don't know how.
Sharing vocabulary helps with vulnerability. If you can say, I'm feeling burnt out, rather than I'm fine, people understand. In class, students practice short scripts. I've been feeling overwhelmed at work. Could we adjust deadlines? Practicing these sentences in English gives you confidence to be honest in real life.
And there is a difference between being vulnerable and oversharing in unsafe spaces. Choose a trusted person first. If you're unsure, start small. I've been having a tiring week. Then see how the other person responds. Their reaction tells you if it's a safe space for more depth.
I want to tell a short story. A student named Maya once told our class, I pretended to be okay for months. Then I told my manager one short sentence, I need support. He actually listened and reallocated some tasks. The relief was immediate. That single sentence changed her rhythm.
Stories like Maya's are common. The mistake many of us make is assuming people won't respond kindly. Often they will when given the chance. Language helps create that chance. Even saying, "Could we talk for 5 minutes?" is a simple, effective opener.
Let's pause for a quick interactive moment. Listeners, repeat after me, softly. I'm feeling overwhelmed right now. Good. Now try, I need a short break to recharge. These are sentences you can keep in your pocket and use when needed.
Now, practical tips for English learners specifically. 1. Label emotions. Practice phrases like, "I feel drained," and "I'm stressed about deadlines." Labeling helps you process and helps others respond appropriately. 2. Practice role plays with classmates or friends. Ask for help, set a boundary, say no politely.
3. Use idioms naturally. If a colleague asks, "How are you?" you might say, "I'm a bit run down, to be honest." That sounds natural and invites empathy. 4. Build a small vocabulary notebook. Write the phrase, a short example, and a situation you might use it in. Repetition helps retention.
Also, pay attention to tone and pauses. Saying, "I'm burned out," in a rushed voice might not be heard. Slow down, take a breath, and speak clearly. That helps the emotional content land. English fluency isn't just grammar, it's pacing and tone too.
People ask me, "Pick, how do I bring this up at work without sounding weak?" My answer? Use concrete language. Instead of "I'm exhausted," say, "I've had a heavy workload for 6 weeks, and I'm having trouble concentrating. Could we discuss a deadline extension?" Concrete details make your need actionable.
Yes, concrete language also helps managers respond with concrete solutions. Vague complaints are hard to address. If you bring data, "I've worked 50 hours for the past 3 weeks," it provides an objective basis for change. And remember, it's okay to ask for help.
Let's shift to coping skills you can practice daily. Mindfulness is one. Not long meditations necessarily, but simple awareness, noticing your breath while waiting for a bus, or feeling your feet on the floor for 10 seconds. These tiny practices reduce stress and build resilience.
Another is sleep hygiene. Regular sleep times, limiting screens before bed, a calming routine. Sleep heals the brain. If you're struggling to sleep, try reducing caffeine and creating a cool, dark environment. Small environmental changes have big effects.
Movement matters too. You don't need intense exercise. A short walk, gentle stretching, or standing up from your desk every hour helps. I tell students, walk like you're switching tasks for your brain. It's a silly image, but it works.
Nutrition and hydration matter. When stressed, people often forget water and eat convenience foods. Keeping a water bottle and a simple snack can stabilize energy and mood. These are small wins that make you feel more in control.
Let's do another language exercise. Imagine a friend asks, "How are you?" How would you respond if you're mildly tired? Sensitive? Burned out? We'll model 3 responses. Mildly tired. I'm okay, a bit tired after a busy week. Burnout. To be honest, I'm feeling burned out right now. It's been hard to focus. Crisis. I'm really struggling and need support. Practice these and notice the difference.
If you say the third thing, it's okay to follow up with a specific request. "Could you help me find a counselor?" Or "Can you cover my shift this week?" Clear requests make help possible. People often want to help but need guidance.
We also need to talk about shame. Many people feel ashamed for being tired or needing rest. Shame silences us. One antidote is language. Saying, I'm feeling overwhelmed to a trusted person reduces shame by making the experience ordinary and human.
And remember, recovery is not linear. There are good days and hard days. Celebrate micro wins. You took a walk. You set a boundary. You said no. These are meaningful steps. Keep a small list of 3 things you're proud of each day, even if they're simple.
I want to share a common phrase, compassion fatigue. Caregivers, teachers, health workers often feel this when they give a lot emotionally. The language around compassion fatigue includes burnout, but focuses on giving to others until you have nothing left. For learners, it's useful to know this term.
Yes, and there's also empathy depletion, the sense that you can't respond emotionally anymore. Both are signals to schedule rest and replenish. Strategies include supervision, peer support, and structured time off. In workplaces, organizations can help by normalizing rest and reasonable workloads.
Let's include a short role play. I'll be a team member, and you, Dr. Pick, will be the manager. I'll say, Pick, I've been feeling overwhelmed, and I'm worried I can't meet the deadline. Then you respond.
Thanks for telling me. Can you tell me which parts feel most overwhelming? Let's look at the tasks together and see what we can shift. Would an extra day or reassigning one task help? Also, is there anything we can do to support your workload long-term?
That felt safe. See how the manager asked specifics and offered options? Good managers listen, then act. If you practice this language in English, you're more likely to get useful outcomes in real workplaces.
For listeners who want structure, here's a simple 7-day mini plan to reduce overwhelm. Day 1, identify one boundary and set it. Day 2, schedule 3 micro rests. Day 3, practice a 3-minute breathing break twice a day. Day 4, limit social media to 30 minutes. Day 5, ask for one small help. Day 6, do a short mindful walk. Day 7, review what helped and keep those habits.
Try that plan slowly. Don't push perfection. The goal is consistency. Pick one habit you can maintain and build from there. Language tip. When telling a friend about your plan, you can say, I'm trying a small plan to recharge this week. Could you check in with me on Sunday? That invites accountability and shows you're practicing English too.
Let's touch on professional help. If burnout includes persistent sadness, anxiety, or a loss of function, consider a counselor or therapist. It's okay to seek help. In some places, employee assistance programs offer short-term counseling. Saying, I'm seeing a counselor, is a simple, useful phrase.
Also, in some cultures, mental health can be a sensitive topic. You might say, I'm taking care of my mental health, as a gentle way to explain therapy or time off. It's both accurate and reduces stigma. That phrasing is polite and clear.
Before we close, a few quick conversational phrases you can use when supporting others. That sounds really hard. I'm here if you want to talk. Is there something I can do to help? These simple sentences are comforting and easy to learn.
And phrases for self-expression. I need a break. I'm at capacity. I need support right now. Short, direct phrases are often the most effective when you're tired.
We're almost at the end. Remember, naming the feeling is the first step. Language gives you power to ask for change. Small wins add up. Boundaries, micro rests, and vulnerability are tools you can try this week.
Before we sign off, a gentle breathing exercise to practice your English pace. Breathe in for 4 counts, hold for 2, breathe out for 6. Try that 3 times with me. Nice. Keep that in your pocket.
We want to leave you with an encouragement. You're not alone, and your feelings are valid. If you try one small step this week, a boundary, a short walk, or one honest sentence,
That is progress. You deserve rest.
Thank you for listening. In the next episode, we'll practice role plays for asking for help at work and supporting a friend who says they're burned out. We'll also review more idioms and do a listening exercise. Take care of yourself until then.
Goodbye for now. Be gentle with yourself. And remember, language and well-being grow together. We'll meet you there. Bye.